Have you ever been passionately in love with someone so much that there was no other place you'd rather be and no one else you'd rather be doing? How about that opposite feeling, that empty feeling of loneliness, going to bed alone, no one to greet you at the door with a kiss and a hug and ask you how your day was? Or someone to say, "Don't worry about it, honey, I'll take care of it," and then they do? Do you like romantic love stories? Come on, guys, don't lie. I know you do too. Especially if the guy's a hapless, divorced ex-jock with 2 dogs, lives alone, and just happens to be an expert in how to attract the opposite sex. Here's my story. I'm a Scorpio. I like to laugh. I like moonlit walks on the beach, and at times I can be funny, even if I'm the only one that thinks so. So even when my kids step on my punchlines. So I took my son out for breakfast and I ordered eggs and sausage. And when the waitress brought it to the table, I said, I never saw such a thing. Cut. And the crime rate here is so bad. Just the other day, there was a kidnapping at the park. His mom woke him. Cut. Just the other day, I walked into this antique store and asked the salesman, "So what's new?" See what I mean, America? Okay, forget that part. Let's stick to my project and the part where the romance comes in. In the 1980s, when I was single, I was a fairly successful dating expert. I wrote a couple of books, I had lots of speaking engagements, and I did some consulting. I got quite a bit of media attention on TV and radio, not to mention being featured in Playboy and Cosmopolitan and the LA and New York Times. My book was so good that one day I woke up to discover I was married. And then for some dumb reason, my wife felt that there was a conflict of interest in my consulting practice, just because I privately counseled lots of lonely, single, attractive women after hours. I'll never forget those 4 words all guys in a relationship love to hear. We need to talk. She tried to make me choose between my marriage and my work. For the next 20-some years, I sold commercial and residential multi-million-dollar properties on the internet, and I started a real estate company. I was making an excellent income, vacations, cars, great homes. I didn't have to look at price tags. Life was so beautiful. In the late 90s, Congress and Senate came up with an absolutely brilliant plan for all Americans to own their own homes. Banks could give home buyers no money down loans with no verification required, and the government would guarantee their payments. What could possibly go wrong? When the real estate market collapsed, I closed my office with 15 agents and wondered what I was going to do next. In 1 year, I got divorced. I left my home and kids with only my car and clothes. I lost my business, my income, my savings. My mother died, and I came within a few hours of death myself. What an interesting challenge. Tony Robbins says that if we think hard enough about the negative situations in our life, we can think of something positive to come from it. Let's see, I'm older, certainly much wiser. I know how to sell million-dollar properties on the internet I don't own. And I know how men and women are attracted to each other. I had some serious soul searching to do, and I had to be alone to do it. So about 3 years ago, I moved up into the hills to try and reinvent myself and figure out what I was going to do with the rest of my life. I brought with me only my security team, 2 personal trainers, and dishwashers. My security team consists of a 2-stage alarm system comprised of Mascara, an Australian collie who keeps guard outside watching the horizon for cars coming up the dirt road about a mile away, and Cole, a black lab pit who stays by my side and relays the bark to me inside the house. This gives me at least a 7.5-minute warning when anyone's coming. My personal trainers are, you guessed it, Cole and Mascara. They relentlessly persist and cajole me into going on hour-long hikes every day. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, let's go. Sometimes afterwards, we even have a nice, tranquil yoga class. And even though Cole has an excellent downward dog, his balancing postures suck. I think he falls over purposely just so he can lick my face. And as far as the dishwashers go, being all alone in the hills can make you do a lot of thinking, and I came to the conclusion that life would be so much better with a quality woman to share it with. So I set out to figure out the best way I knew how to get her, and I knew that internet dating is by far and away the most sensible, efficient way to find a match. So I tried it for a while. Even with all my knowledge, experience, and skill set as a dating expert, I initially sucked at it, and I didn't have much luck at all. As is my nature, I became obsessed with understanding every detail about it, so I spent the next year or so researching and testing it in order to master it while trying out different sites to see which ones are the best. The algorithms various websites use for mate selection are useful to a certain degree, but I discovered that each website has its own criteria, and the algorithm was only relevant to that website. What if I was to reverse engineer the criteria and create a universal system that could be used on multiple dating websites? If one website yielded X amount of candidates, then 10 good websites would yield 10X candidates. I ended up creating a software program that I am going to use to find my perfect love match, and I would like your support to help me get the public relations and help I need to film and document it.